The Rat Line at the Virginia Military Institute. It's a rite of passage for incoming cadets, and something you only want to go through once.
Being a rat, it has its good days and it has its bad days. Bad days, you can do a lot of push-ups.
Experience the Rat Line on this edition of Living in Virginia.
As you walk under the arch at VMI, the first thing you see is a statement attributed to General Jackson. You may be whatever you resolve to be. VMI teaches you to resolve to be something or to achieve something.
If you want something, you're going to have to put out for it. You're going to have to do what it takes to get it done. You're going to have pitfalls, you're going to have bad days, but you're not just going to throw in the towel because of that.
Hello, and welcome to Living in Virginia, the show about your state and the people who make it such a fascinating place to live. The Virginia Military Institute, it's a school with a rich history, 160 years old. In fact, it's the oldest state-supported military college in the U.S. Located in Lexington and nestled in the Blue Ridge Mountains, VMI is a National Historic Landmark. Stonewall Jackson taught here before he gained immortality during the Civil War. George C. Marshall, who wrote the plan that lifted Western Europe out of World War II, was the school's most famous cadet. Its sports teams often struggle, but its school spirit is as strong as you'll find anywhere, and its alumni are fiercely loyal.
This is the most intense alumni group in the United States by far.
The first non-European
Approximately 1,300 cadets study here to become, in the school's words, citizen soldiers. Like the Citadel and America's service academies, VMI has an intense and demanding period of orientation called the Rat Line. Every cadet who hopes to move on must survive it.
There are definitely times in everyone's cadetship when, especially as a rat, when you just say, why am I here? What is this for?
Mark Mills is a member of the class of 2002. He was one of this year's rats.
No shame in really admitting it. I've gone back to my room and just laid my head down on my desk and just said, why? That part of the VMI system is we break you down and then we build you up. It's all part of tradition. And what they build here at VMI, they don't build anywhere else in the country.
Tradition is what the Virginia Military Institute prides itself on more than anything. Even if cadets sometimes break the rules or poke fun at the school in drawings, as this one did more than 100 years ago. The military college opened its doors in 1839. For 2 decades before that, it had been a state arsenal.
About 25 young Virginians were assigned, militiamen were assigned to guard those firearms, but there wasn't a great deal for them to guard it from.
Following years of debate, Virginia's General Assembly created VMI, and Francis Smith became the school's first superintendent. As the snow fell on November 11th, 1839, John Bowie Strange of Albemarle County, the first cadet guard at VMI, took his post. The practice of guarding the institute continues today.
It's a tradition that every cadet, anyone who has worn the cadet uniform, has experienced. At this very moment, there are cadets in the barracks walking the guard, just in the way that John Bowie Strange did in 1839.
VMI reached another turning point 25 years later, in June 1864, when the school's barracks were destroyed by Union troops advancing through the Shenandoah Valley.
And in those days, the barracks building was more than the barracks. It was faculty housing, administrative offices, and classrooms. So effectively, the entire campus was destroyed in that one building.
That event took place 1 month after VMI experienced perhaps its proudest moment at the Battle of Newmarket, where more than 250 cadets, acting as reserves, helped Southern troops hold off the Union Army. 10 cadets from VMI died in that battle. Nearly 50 others were wounded. 6 of the dead are now buried at VMI, next to the school's parade ground. Every year, the school remembers the fallen cadets with a solemn ceremony. A lone cadet plays taps after the names of the dead have been announced to the gathering. Outside, a ceremonial wreath is laid in their honor.
George Patton was a part
Keith
of
Gibson
those years
knows as much about the school's history as
already
anyone.
represented here by the
Among other
VMI
things, he's in
cadet
charge of the
troops,
VMI Museum, which contains all sorts of memorabilia,
His son,
including the raincoat Stonewall Jackson was wearing during the Battle of Chancellorsville in 1863, when he was fatally shot by his own men.
in the field, when they realized Jackson was wounded, they didn't take the coat off in what would be a normal manner. They took a penknife and cut up the sleeve and across the chest and lapel to lay the coat open to find out what the degree of the wound was.
In fact, if you look closely enough, you can still see the bullet hole in the coat's left shoulder. A few feet away is a helmet worn by George C. Marshall, who graduated from VMI in 1901. He commanded the U.S. Army during World War II and then became U.S. Secretary of State. He was also one of the country's first five-star generals.
It was a new rank for World War II, because prior to that, there was armies were not that large. These were the largest armies ever assembled.
Gibson himself graduated from VMI. He was a rat 25 years ago.
You find what your personal limits are, because in this organized way, you are challenged to explore those limits.
The term rat was coined in the mid-19th century, shortly after VMI got started. Back then, new cadets were also called green cadets. The rat line, however, was much different than it is today.
The idea that the rat line in the early years consisted of a series of, in essence, benign practical jokes designed to kind of initiate the new cadet into the life of being a cadet.
During the 20th century, it became more structured, with more oversight from the administration. Gibson says today's rat line essentially dates back to just after World War II. Since the fall of 1997, women have also had to endure the rat line.
Well, you can never really get prepared to be a rat. I did a lot of physical activities before I came. I was very involved in athletics in high school.
No one can prepare themselves for VMI. It's an experience that, you know, no one will, you won't have an experience like this in your lifetime again.
More than 400 rats entered VMI last August. They came from all over the U.S., even a few from overseas. Their experience in the rat line began in this courtyard in a ceremony called Meet the Cadre.
There's nothing like being in that courtyard when the drums start beating and they come in. You feel an exhilaration, you know, that this is getting ready to begin, and then you just, it feels like everything inside of you just goes dark.
The cadre is a select group of upperclassmen chosen to administer the rat line to the new cadets. Following a brief speech by one of VMI's top officers, the cadre break ranks and get to work.
The first time we met cadre, there were so many things running through your head, you just have no idea what to think.
You're just standing there and you look up and you see the rest of the Corps, you know, screaming at you and telling you you're gonna get it and you're about to die, and you're just thinking, I can't believe this.
Hell Week delivers a number of shocks to the new cadets. Meet the Cadre is just one of them. Prior to that ceremony, the new cadets must also get their first haircut at VMI.
Shorten up the top just a little.
Okay, we'll do it.
Connie Hostetter works in the VMI barber shop. The first week of school is perhaps her busiest time of year.
Well, it's an exciting time. A lot of the guys, I guess, they don't know what to expect. And, of course, the young ladies, it's the same way.
Male rats have their heads virtually shaved, while female rats are allowed to have 1 inch of hair on top, but less than that on the sides. Men must keep their hair short all 4 years they're at VMI, while women may grow their hair out during their 2nd year.
To be honest, at the beginning, it didn't bother me in the least, not at all. I just figured it'll be easier, you know, look like my brother rats as much as possible.
Yes, sir! During Hell Week, rats also learn their first military drills.
But when you get here, you feel inferior because it seems everything that you might know is just, you know, thrown away, and you're starting anew. They teach you how to salute, and they teach you how to march, and they teach you everything, you know, just like that.
You're expected to learn so much in such a short amount of time. They're teaching you how to shine, you know, your brass, break it down, wear a uniform.
To add to the pressure of these drills, members of the cadre are free to single out rats and drop them for push-ups.
It's pretty much random, and especially at the beginning when they don't know us yet, they just kind of get a feel for what kind of people make up their company.
Major General Josiah Bunting is the school superintendent. He faced the same ordeal when he was a rat back in 1959.
Basically, you are thrown completely upon your own resources of character and courage and those of your brother rats. This VMI term for classmate, brother rat, is very significant because we tried right from the beginning to get them used to helping each other. The system, as it is designed to work, is an impersonal system in which the upperclassmen put or impose a variety of pressures upon the rats. But they are not to be personally abusive under any circumstances, and certainly not to be physically abusive under any circumstances. You see people as they really are when they're stripped of their wallet or their accent or their family. No quarter is given on the basis of ethnicity or money or anything like that. And we think that the time-proved methods of training and education here have as much value for this culture as they did in 1850 or 1950.
More than half of VMI's incoming cadets are from Virginia, while a large percentage come from other nearby states. Some plan careers in the military, while others are looking for a challenge and feel the need for discipline. Today, VMI has about 50 women. Angela Myers entered in the fall of 1997. She competes on the women's outdoor track team.
I just wanted to go to military school, mainly all my life. I didn't get accepted into the Naval Academy, and this is my second option.
The young women who have been attracted to VMI, for the most part, have been young women determined to prove themselves on our terms. They have tended to be traditionalist, very conservative, very anxious to do the best they can, not to change VMI, but to succeed in the VMI as it was before they came here.
There is still resistance to women at VMI, of course, especially among the school's alumni.
This place is steeped in traditions, and a lot of those traditions are going to go away. Some new ones will be created for the people in the future, but a lot of the things that I'm familiar with and loved about the place are going to go away.
Many cadets remain opposed as well.
It's mostly among, I think personally, the first and second class, just because they did not have females matriculate.
There's some guys that are very, I guess, comfortable with the girls being here and don't mind it. There's other guys that are still sort of bitter of the whole issue,
The United States, even though it was not a member of the League of Nations.
Although VMI lost its 6-year fight to keep women out, it's still at odds with the federal government over giving quarterly written reports on its progress with coeducation.
We just thought that now, almost 2 years after the arrival of the first woman, that we had thoroughly demonstrated our goodwill, our good faith, and our determination to make the place effectually coeducational.
Most at VMI say daily life is just about what it was before women arrived.
Things haven't changed much.
I don't think that it's changed very much, other than the physical appearances, the shades on the windows, and the female bathrooms.
Nor, according to most, is VMI's rat line much different than it used to be.
When the guys have to drop for 20 push-ups, the girls do too, and they do 20 just as much as the men.
This is the focal point for cadet life at VMI, the barracks. All cadets live here, and the different classes occupy the different floors, or stoops as they're called. The seniors, better known as first-classmen, occupy the first stoop, while the rats occupy the fourth stoop.
Barracks at VMI, in a way, is like an anthill. It is a place of furious, carefully organized activity that is ceaseless. It's really a laboratory, almost a laboratory in which you can watch late adolescent humanity.
And you can also see many of VMI's rituals, like putting blankets and mattresses out in the fresh air every Monday. It's called airing the hay. It's been going on for decades. A closer look reveals the world of privileges at VMI. Rats have the fewest privileges, while first-classmen have the most. Most of the cadets are prohibited from wearing civilian clothes at the post, but all upperclassmen are allowed to wear bathrobes around the barracks. Only first-classmen are allowed to walk on the grass. There are several entrances to the barracks, but rats must use the Jackson Arch. They're also required to do what's called straining.
When you're a rat, you have to strain everywhere you go. You get pains in your jaw and in your neck, just from, having your chin tucked in all the time, and your shoulders start to hurt. But after a while, it just becomes natural.
Upperclassmen, meanwhile, can stop a rat and quiz him or her about the school's history. They can even require rats to do 10 or 20 push-ups.
There'll be days where you can get through barracks, like no problems at all. You can get to your room, no one's going to stop you. But then there are other days where you'll be going up and you'll get stopped on like every single stoop.
The average rat will wake up anywhere between 6:15 and 6:30.
Jason Breeding is a fourth-classman who recently broke out of the rat line. He's lived in this tiny room with 2 other roommates since he arrived at VMI.
VMI is based on very Spartan conditions. You live with what you have, and that's something that VMI teaches you, adversity.
Clothes must be neat, shoes must be polished, and books must be kept in a precise order.
As rats, we have room inspection, random room inspections, and they judge your room based on how tight your hay's rolled or clean your sink or clean your shoes are. So you just usually start like this, come over and stick it in the corner of your room with your names to be parallel to the bed straps. And then in order for the process to be complete, you'll bring down your rack and place it against a wall or so forth, similar to this. Then the most important sheet that we have here.
Posted on the wall of every rat's room is also a copy of the school's honor code.
Cadets shall not lie, cheat, steal, or tolerate those who do.
It's huge. It's the most important thing here. It's the bottom of the standard that we live by.
And if you break the honor code by an offense which is the most trivial or the most cataclysmic, you will be dismissed immediately.
All right, 6.
Although there's a strong military atmosphere at VMI, because it's a college, rats must also stay up on their studies.
Well, it's very tough, but the idea is that after 2 weeks or 4 weeks or 6 weeks, you begin to see how to sort through these priorities.
American intervention in Latin America.
Very seldom does someone get dismissed from VMI because they didn't shine their shoes, but quite often people leave because they didn't do their physics homework.
You learn how to how to balance everything out in your life.
To help achieve that balance, every rat is paired with a first-classman called a dyke.
You know, you go to your dykes room like 2 or 3 times a day, and you try and help them out as much as you can, and it's a place to relax, and they kind of explain things to you, let you know what's going on.
Here's where this year's rat line came to an end, at the site that means more than anything to VMI, the Bushong Farm, where the Battle of Newmarket was fought. On May 15, 1864, when VMI's cadets fought and died here, the skies were gray, the weather was rainy. And so it was the last Sunday in February, when the young cadets broke out of the rat line. Their trip began at 3 in the morning.
We were all very excited. We've been waiting for so long. I mean, I still remember that day like it was yesterday. I mean, it was raining and it was dark, but it was like the most beautiful day of my life.
The Rats first rode buses to Harrisonburg, then began their 6-hour march to Newmarket.
Take them hoods off.
There was a lot of training involved because we knew every 18 miles no one could just pick up and go. And so over the course of the year, we prepared since the beginning of the year to do these marches. You know, 5, 10, 15, 10, you know, different variations of marches.
Their destination was the portion of the battlefield called the Field of Lost Shoes, where the 10 cadets had lost their lives. Marching to Newmarket was new this year.
We wanted to get back to the essence of VMI. Really. We wanted to bring the Rats back and make that Field of Lost Shoes have a tie to Newmarket, of kind of as a modern corps, move back to the old corps here.
For more than 15 years, cadets had broken out of the rat line this way, by climbing VMI's muddy hill. In the old breakout, cadets made it impossible for rats to get up the hill without helping each other.
And you can't make it by yourself. And I think that was the whole essence of the hill, is that you had to sit there and you had to rely on those next to you, your brother rats, to make it up the hill.
This year's rats, however, didn't seem to mind the new tradition.
Like the whole breakout was nice because it lasted like a whole weekend, and we did a lot of things together.
Once they arrived in Newmarket, the rats charged across the battlefield with cannons firing all around them.
When you see your dykes across the field and you're running towards them and they're waiting, you know, to take you, and it's really emotional. It's awesome.
Afterward, they spent a few minutes celebrating. Then they gathered to hear what the Battle of Newmarket was like in 1864.
Losing shoes, losing blood, losing friends, losing life, but not losing ground or heart or honor. You were treading where their feet had trod. Let your mind be full as you reflect on your march.
After riding back to VMI, the weary cadets assembled in the barracks to celebrate one more time. Their long ordeal was over. The rats had broken out. Not all the cadets who survived the rat line will be back next year. VMI loses a small number of rising sophomores, or third-classmen as they're called, over the summer. But the vast majority of cadets who made it through the rat line will stick it out here at VMI and graduate 3 years from now. And when they return next semester, they'll see a new group of cadets continuing the ritual of enduring the rat line and learning about their limits. I'm Ned Barker. Thanks for watching.
It's really hard during the day because you'll get up at 6:30. You'll have breakfast, and then you'll have classes at 8.
It is a system and a culture which attempts to impose a variety of challenges, small challenges, large challenges, on you as a young person in a new and unfamiliar surrounding, all at the same time.
There's not a lot of perks, so to speak, for being a rat, you know. You kind of develop your own humor with your brother rats up on the 4th stoop, and, you know, laugh about how hard your day was or how many push-ups you did or whatnot.
You know, going through the rat line is an experience that you only need to go through once to understand.
VMI is one of those places where you truly are your brother's keeper. The fellow next to you, you realize that your success is fundamentally linked to his success. And whether it's struggling up a hill or climbing a wall or on a 5-mile run, everyone accomplishes that together.
I always say to the rats on the first day they're here with their parents, look to the left of you, look to the right of you. That man or that woman next to you, that is your brother, that is your sister, and your mission is to get him or get her through the rat line.